Hey, welcome back. In today's class, we're going to focus on poses that require external rotation at the hip, how to improve it, and how to strengthen. Let's begin seated for a brief meditation to focus on the breath. So find a comfortable seat and close your eyes, go inward. Take 3 conscious breaths in and out through your nose. Let your body soften, empty, and tune into the sensations in your body. Open your eyes, practicing your dristi, so that you still stay tuned into the body even though the eyes are open. And then come into a cross-legged position. Take your fingertips out to the side and open up across your collarbones without pushing forward through your ribs. Sit down through your right hip and stretch your right arm up and over. Turn your gaze up towards your arm as you reach towards the sky. And then turn your gaze down towards the ground. Feel the stretch come more into the back of the lats. Come back up. Change sides. Raise your left arm up. And as you sit down through your left hip, side bend. And as you turn your gaze up and reach up, notice the stretch come into the side of the chest. And as you turn down, look towards the ground, feel in the back and the lat more of a stretch. Come back up, change the cross of the legs. Let's repeat that. Sit through the right hip as you raise your right arm. Turn your gaze. Look down towards the ground. Come back up, change sides, raise the left arm up. And side bend as you reach down through the left hip, look up. Turn the gaze down. Come back up. Now stretch your arms out to the side. Turn your thumbs down and make circles with your arms, warming up your shoulders. Turn the hands the other way and make circles the other direction. So the thumbs point back, making external circles. Now hold the arms steady and rotate your arm bones internally and externally. Turn the thumbs to point down. Turn the thumbs to point back. One more round. Turn down. Point back. Bring your arms down. Come onto your hands and your knees. Step your right foot to the outside of your right hand and reach your right elbow down towards the ground. As you inhale, twist open. Exhale, reach elbow down. Inhale, twist open. Exhale, reach down. Inhale, twist. Lift your back knee up. Put your right hand down onto the inside of your right foot. Lengthen in your lunge. Step in a plank position. Take your feet the width of your mat, and as you reach your shoulder blades into your hands, shift your weight over into your right hand. Now without letting your hips twist, See if you can bring your left hand to your chest. Change sides, put the left hand down, lean into your left hand without your hips twisting, right hand to your chest. Both hands down, glide back into downward facing dog. Step your left foot up to the outside of your left hand. Drop your knee down, reach your left elbow down. Inhale, twist open. Exhale, reach elbow down. Inhale, twist open. Exhale, reach down. Inhale, twist open. Lift your back knee up. Bring your left hand down onto the inside of your foot. Lengthen in your lunge as you lift your back thigh. Let your left hip sit towards the ground. Lengthen through your spine. Step into plank pose. Feet the width of the mat. Lean over into your left hand. Without your hips twisting, bring your right hand to your chest. Push the floor away. Change over into your right hand, left hand to your chest. Both hands down. Lift hips and glide back, downward facing dog. Set knees down. Stretch your hips back towards your heels. Come back up. Bring your hips towards your wrists. Roll your chest open. You can lift your feet up off the ground if you're tighter in your hips to help free up the spine here. Stretch your hips back as you exhale. Inhale, roll back up. Reach the buttocks down as you lift through the front of the pelvis and roll the chest open. Feel the back muscles engage. Exhale, stretch back. Inhale, come forward. Now stretch back into downward facing dog. And one hand at a time, walk your hands back to your feet. As you inhale, roll your chest up, come into a flat back, slide the hands up the shins, and as you exhale, slide down. Good, roll your spine up, one vertebra at a time. Raise your arms up. And exhale, fold. Inhale, slide the hands up the shins. And as you exhale, walk your hands out, one handprint at a time. Downward facing dog. Holding your dog pose, take a deep breath in. And let it out. Shift to plank pose. Stretch back into dog pose. Starting with your other hand, one hand at a time, walk the hands back to the feet. You can take your feet wider for more stability. Take them narrower if you want to make it more challenging. As you inhale, slide your hands up your shins, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Roll yourself up. Spread your arms and reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come up halfway. Walk your hands out again, one hand at a time. Now come into plank position. And roll to the outside edge of your right foot as you take your left arm up. Remember, you can always modify with the knee down Or if you feel strong enough to, go for the full side plank. Keep a lift in your right side waist and reach through your right shoulder into your hand so you're not sinking. Come back into plank position. Change sides. Roll to the outside of your left foot as you take your right arm up. Remember, you can always drop the knee down. Come back into plank position. Stretch back into downward facing dog. Walk your hands back to your feet, one hand at a time. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold. Roll yourself up. Spread your arms and reach up. Exhale, hands to your heart, Samastiti. And with your eyes closed, take a deep breath in. And let it out. Open your eyes and bring your arms down at your side. All right, let's try our first balance pose with an externally rotated thigh. So cross your right ankle just above your left knee. And as you turn your thigh out, see if you can steer your chest and hips forward. Take your arms forward and then start to sit back like you're sitting into a chair. But as you're sitting back, feel that the thigh can keep rotating so that your shin is kind of parallel to the wall in front of you, if there's a wall in front of you. Or parallel to the ground. Now take your big toe and then lift your leg out. No, just kidding. But maybe in week 4, we'll give that one a shot. Come back up to stand. Change sides. Cross your left ankle over your right knee. And start to sit back. Come up to stand. Turn to your side and take your legs wide apart. Spread your arms out to the side. Turn your left leg in slightly and turn your right leg all the way out. As you inhale, expand. And as you look at your right big toe, exhale, reach out over your right leg and place your hand down onto your shin, ankle, fingertips on floor, or you can use a block. So when you go to touch the floor, instead of keeping an elongation through your crown in the line of your big toe, your body rounds over, then you benefit from using a prop. Often for beginners, I have them put a hand on a chair so they can keep their chest open. We want the pranavayu, which we haven't discussed yet. Weave that in maybe tomorrow's class. The pranavayu, the chest area, to stay open in the practice. So you don't want to close off in these standing poses and let the ego get involved. Bend your knee and step up into half moon pose. So put your hand on your hip and slide your hand or block a foot in front of your foot, depending on what you're using. Then scoot your back foot in a foot. Now, look at your right foot. It still is pointing straight ahead. Turn your knee to point straight ahead. And then see if you can lean into that foot without your knee caving in. can you lift your back leg up and lift your right hip right up over your ankle? If this is difficult, do it with your right hip up against a wall so you can open up. Then once you feel steady, take your left arm up. And with beginners, I always teach them this pose at the wall. So if you're a beginner, you could do it with your right hip against the wall so you could get the sensation of what it's like to open up. Then bend your knee and slide back into the triangle pose. Press down through your feet, and as you inhale, come back up. Parallel your feet and stand tall in the middle for a moment. Now let's turn the legs to the other side. Rotate your right thigh in slightly as you turn your left leg out. And now I got the credenza, so I can kind of show you what it's like to use the wall. As you exhale, look out over your left leg, reach out, put your hand down, whatever you're using. Shin, ankle, floor or block or chair. Now, look down, put your hand on your hip, bend your knee. As you put your left hand a foot in front of your foot, scoot your back foot in. Look down, see that your second toe is pointing straight ahead, your knee and your hip are all in that line. And as you go to load your left foot, can you keep the alignment there? And here I have the credenza, so I can just use the credenza to help me if I don't have the glute med skill yet, strength and coordination. And then a lot of it is the opening too. If I'm very tight here, as soon as I go to try to balance on my leg, I'm going to fall over. So we can use the wall kind of like a fulcrum so that we can open up and relax into the pose. Bend your knee and step back into triangle pose. Press into your feet and come back up to stand. Good job. That was a hard pose. Now, turn your right leg out and step up to the top of your mat. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come up halfway, lengthen. As you exhale, step into plank pose. Lots of planks today, a lot of plank. Upper body focus with the plank. Stretch back into downward facing dog. Now from down dog, make your way to seated. Tomorrow we'll do more ab stuff, so it won't be so much planking. Lie down onto your back and come into bridge pose. Press your heels down, lift your hips up, and descend your upper arm bones to open up your chest without pushing your ribs. As you exhale, connect the rib cage to the pelvis. And then as you inhale, try a diaphragmatic breath. That's where you expand the whole rib cage. The sides, the back, instead of just pushing your rib cage up. We want to breathe diaphragmatically, which is not belly breathing. Don't even get me started on belly breathing. Oh my gosh, I'll freak out if someone says belly breathing right now. No, belly breathing is not diaphragmatic breathing and will cause postural issues, which I didn't know, so I used to say it too. Lower yourself back down and take a breath, and then lift yourself back up. Feel your strong glutes, strong hamstrings, helping to counter all of the tension and um, tension that we have in the front from sitting. Open up to the front there by strengthening the back. Lower yourself back down. Nicely done. Now open your arms out to the side like cactus arms. So those arms are externally rotating in the cactus position. And with your feet the width of the mat, just let your knees swivel over to the right. And as that happens, your right thigh is externally rotating as your left thigh is internally rotating. Then change sides. Let your right thigh internally rotate as your left thigh externally rotates and abducts. Exhale to let the shoulders and the neck relax. Then come back to center. Hug your knees in and roll it up. And let's come into Baddha Konasana. Sit with the soles of your feet together. Take a deep breath into your nose as you sit up tall. And as you exhale, let go of any tension that you're holding here in the groins and the neck and your shoulders. And if you're very flexible in this position, you could start to fold forward. You might even be able to put your head down or something. But if you're not so flexible and the knees are lifting way up, then it's better to just sit up straight and let those legs start to drop down. Now, if you're really wanting to open something up, I don't know if I said this already, it's going to take you longer than 30 seconds in a stretch. It's going to take you longer than 40. It's going to, sadly, take you longer than 60 seconds. It's going to take more time. You have to be in the pose for a while if you really want to reprogram the stretch response so that your body feels more comfortable in the position. And that's by going over 60 seconds, 60 to 90 seconds, air on 90. So you could feel, we've been here for maybe about a minute, and it might feel like things are like, okay, now we can start to relax a little bit. That's when you're really getting the benefits of your stretch. If you really want to affect how much your body opens up, got to spend some time. All right, nicely done. Now let's add some spinal flexion for our external rotation. So both legs are externally rotated. We're going to try to cross them at the middle of the shins. Let me show from this. Instead of your feet being close and the knees being wide, could you compact those suckers so that we mimic a lotus angle? And then from there, could you start to go forward? Maybe not. Maybe you're like this. Then you just work like this. You have to make the noise when it's hard. That's how it feels in your brain. You could also stick stuff underneath, like a pillow, blankets, if it's difficult to sit up straight and let the knees drop. But if your knees are dropping, then you could start to lean forward. Now, my favorite thing is to rest your head onto something, because when the forehead gets to rest onto something, it helps to trigger the relaxation response. And you'll feel like through your neck and shoulders and your spine, you can relax way better. Not only just having something gently pressing against your forehead is very soothing, but the weight of the head, not having to hold the weight of the head, that's nice. Then come back up and change the cross of your legs and stretch forward. And then here's the beauty of hanging out for a while. After over a minute, oh yeah, look how much deeper you could go now. And come back up. And now I'm going to encourage you to try the shavasana video. So click the link to practice your guided shavasana for 5 minutes. Thanks so much. Namaste.